Welcome back. We're heading straight to our main conversation now. The Minister of Aviation, Festus Keyamo, has directed the Nigerian Civil Aviation Authority (NCAA) to suspend Dana Air the day after one of the airline's planes skidded off the runway at Murtala Mohammed Airport in Lagos. But on and off social media, the measure is being debated as to whether it's not an overkill, aimed more at driving the government's perception as being tough with its rules than it is about fixing what might have been an isolated incident.
Yes, in any case, the minister also ordered a comprehensive audit of the airline. The audit will encompass safety protocols, maintenance procedure, and financial health to ensure full compliance with the aviation sector's regulations. The minister's argument is that the move was necessary to ensure safety and regulatory compliance.
Keyamo explained that the recent incident underscored the urgency of the matter and the need for swift and decisive action to be taken to safeguard the interests of all stakeholders involved.
Yes, the incident on Tuesday had led the Federal Airport Authority of Nigeria, FAAN, to temporarily shut down the affected runway before reopening it on Wednesday.
Dana Air said in a statement after the incident that all 83 passengers were safely disembarked with no injuries. Our guest for this segment remains Barrister Evans Ufeli. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
All right, Barrister. The last we heard from Dana Air was the aircraft had been grounded by the maintenance team pending further investigation. Why are we having the airline grounded? I mean, considering the fact that a lot of Nigerians are employed to Dana Air, what are the implications of this particular resort from the federal government?
Well, when you say Dana Air grounded, I do not know whether it's that particular plane that was grounded or the entire airline grounded. Because
the entire airline.
No, I came in from Abuja yesterday and Dana flew.
Really?
Yes, Dana was announced and it flew. Maybe I don't know whether already booked flights will be allowed to go. I don't know how to do it, but I think suspension is to the extreme. It's to the extreme because what happened is that the plane overshot wrong because you know the way aircraft operates. When a plane is going to land, it has to land in a way that the wind will help to reduce the speed and all that. And investigation should be carried out properly before we talk about suspension. I understand what the minister did and what he's saying. He said that swift reaction will foster safety so that it will send a message to others that, before now we've had a very safe airspace, even better than most of the countries in the West. You understand? The last time we had a major crash should be in 2009, and it's the same Dana, okay? The crashes we've had not too long ago are just maybe helicopters and all that. I'm talking about commercial airlines. So the suspension for me, is overboard. But in a way, it also sends a message to others because safety is very important. So no decision, that is too much to ensure safety. It's because right now we're talking about lives, 83 person on board and all that. So whether suspension, temporary suspension, or whether penalty, whatever the fine should be or the penalty should be, whatever the law stipulates in case like that. I mean, the aviation regulation rules, whatever it stipulates in case like that, should be slammed on them. You understand? In that way, you have the other airlines, if you go to airports now, you notice that all the airlines are acquiring, better better aircrafts and all that. That is also on regulations. If you don't put very strong rules and measures on regulations, you as a country will not survive it because human negligence is one very big issue, and none of these airlines want to be in the black book of the regulatory authorities or the federal government. We know how some airlines were not just suspended but stopped completely. from operations. Okay, we have the likes of First Nation and some other of them who could not meet up with the requirement that is there. So let's keep our airspace safe. If we have to suspend, let's suspend. If we have to fine, let's fine. Whatever the penalty is, I believe the minister should have confined himself to what the penalties are in the case under reference. It is only when if he has acted above, far and above the regular penalty for that irregularity, so we can say, okay, no, this is too much. Why should we grant the entire airline? But like I said, last night, Ghana flew. So I don't know because we're also asking questions there. That this is not the same airline they say have been grounded, why they fly and all that. I don't know how they do it in aviation. But I know that safety is one of the primary fundamental issue in aviation that is, you cannot overemphasize it.
All right. Weeks back, you gave a wonderful appraisal to FAN, for keeping us in check and not allowing any bird drop from the sky. And today you equally reassured that too, and that's fantastic. Now, some luminaries who have skin in the game have come up to say that it was stringent for Keyamu to have weighed in on the way he did in a very tough way. Now my question is, given the issue in concern, according to international agencies, they said that the often cause of break in aircraft is usually hydraulic fluid leaks or mechanical failure. Now, given what we have known of Dana Air, don't you think it's time that they would have better understood that this is something they should take very seriously and not be the first people to get the hammer from the ministry?
That's what I'm saying. That's why the suspension itself is not overboard. We're saying the same thing. They should have understood what the issues are and how that you have to comply. You understand? Now, it's not only Dana too. The fan itself, who will give the clearance to fly. Okay, because every plane that lands cannot just take off again. You obtain you notice sometimes after boarding, there will be a little delay sometimes. So we have not gotten the clearance to take off.
Exactly.
So you have to get the clearance to take off again. When you land in another airport, that same airport, you get another clearance to take off again. No airline is, no aircraft is safe round the clock. It takes a trip, it lands, they check it, and give you another clearance to take off again. You understand? So it's not just the airline, but the people who also administer the takeoff, the technical crew, all the whatever it is put together. So let's do what is right. If we do what is right, air is the safest. Air travel is the safest, according to aviation rules.
Right. Thank you so much, Barrister Evans. Quickly, even though you have touched on some of the things I raised now in your earlier response, so we have looked at some things that have been identified as some of the issues bedeviling the aviation sector: lack of a coherent air transport policy, bad management, decrepit infrastructure, lax security, corruption, and political interference, among factors that have crippled the aviation sector. At this point, is it safe to say that we are due for an overdue drastic reform in that sector?
Of course, reform is required. I mean, when you go to civilized countries, you see how they get reforms almost always to ensure that they have a better, smarter, and easy way of doing whatever it is they do. Reforms are important. Look at the delay that I went through yesterday. 6 hours delay. This morning, they have sent me over 4 messages because the same airline had sued them twice. They didn't allow the matter to go on because they settled out of court. Gave me 2 tickets of the same flight. The same airline that, and I've sent me over 4 messages this morning. A flight that's supposed to take off at 5 p.m. took off last night at 11:45. p.m. You understand? So you keep people for that long hour unproductive. You understand? So reforms are required sometimes. It was when I started moving with politicians that I discovered sometimes why airlines are delayed. I was a very one of the big politicians in the country one time, and they called him on phone that the flight is about to move. The airline were calling him, and he told them to delay it to another 30 minutes.
Really?
Yes, they will now call you. You think all the delays you see, you think it's weather or whatever. One person is somewhere saying all that. In some cases, it's genuine. You understand? But I've seen cases where someone is saying delayed for 15 minutes, I'm on my way. You understand? So it happens like that. So all these kind of issues should be checked. You understand? Because usually if an airline is scheduled to fly by 6, it's expected that within that time it's up and running. Because another one will take off at another time. And no two aircraft can go the same route at the same time. Otherwise there will be pollution on air. You understand? Just as you have road on the earth here, that's how you have it over the sky. So these things are things we have to watch. Let there be reforms. Whatever area, whether the reform is on the kind of aircraft you should not use, or the reform, the general reform all over. ICAO is the World Organization responsible for aviation.
Right.
Okay, and they have regulations. So I think reform is very, very critical.
All right, so let's look at the economic and brand image effect on what has happened to Nigeria, and the question is, how do you think the world outside of Nigeria would take us? Especially, you did say you were supposed to board for 5 p.m. and you ended up doing that for 11:45. Yes. So imagine if a foreigner who has come to invest in Nigeria.
There are a lot of foreigners there.
Exactly.
There's even a white guy that could no longer bear it. He took his bag and went to somewhere very far, sat down there and was frustrated. Wow. You understand? No. There's another one too. That one is an Indian. That one was just talking. So that one was not really perturbed. Not really, because India is not really different from Nigeria. Really. Apart from the fact that they've advanced in technology, they are still very. They are third world now.
Yes,
India is third world. Yeah. So, and he spoke in a way that you will see that. But the first person is a Caucasian.
Didn't understand why that was happening.
Caucasian, pure white, was frustrated.
Now, what is this effect to the Nigerian economy and those in authority? Do you think they see some of these things just the way we see them?
They have, the federal government is there now, and they are there in the airports. You have immigration, you have custom, you have all of them. You have NDLA, everybody sees what is going on. You understand? Yeah. And you also have a Ministry of Aviation. So they sanction these airlines. It's not in the news that you see every day. The ministry sanctions them and ensure that. Now, what Fedex Keyamo is doing is quite good because it's not taking prisoners. Yeah, it just you act this way, suspension. And so it's in a way it's good. It will help us to build capacity.
All right. Thank you so much, Mr. Evans. Before we coast home, I'd love for you to speak on the economic impact of those workers affected by this sanction. Even though you do not see Keyamo's approach as despotic, I see it as a bit too harsh, considering, we have fathers, mothers, people who have people that depend on them financially. Yeah. I'm not certain that the airline will continue to pay salaries while they are still trying to sort out things and maintenance and all of that. Do you think that the federal government has factored that in before taking that decision?
Well, the issue of whether they will pay salaries, I think that's tied to the contract of employment of the workers. They are not asked to stop operation. They are suspended. They are suspended, meaning maybe they will not be flying or whatever, but they are still working. Work is ongoing. Aviation is not just to fly now. It goes beyond that. There are internal, administrative, and many other work they do. So I don't think it will affect it.
Okay.
I don't think it will affect the workers, except in their contract of employment it is stated Now, in the event that Dana Air is suspended or it will affect, that's a different contract entirely. But by and large, if we say because of sanction, if we say because of people who work, our people that work and they have to earn money and they have dependents, we should allow the airlines to act the way they act anyhow. It means that same work we're trying to protect, some other families will have to lose their life for us to protect the ones that work in an airline. That's what it means.
Right.
So we should be able to look at it beyond just survival.
All
Survival
right.
in terms of economic survival. We should also look at it in terms of being around, surviving as a human being, so that you don't end up in a situation where people will have to lose their life because the rules are made flexible just because people will need to work and they have dependents and the dependents have to feed.
Absolutely. All right. We've been speaking to Barrister Evans Ofeli. He's a barrister at law. The man I love to call the scholar's scholar. Thank you so much for coming on.
Thank you very much.
Thank you
Thank you for the compliment.
Thank you. Henry, I want to use the moment to extend gratitude to Providence for not allowing that particular plane to be regarded as ill-fated.
Exactly.
So we are grateful that everyone on board was disembarked unhurt. So this is another time to be grateful
Exactly.
for life, considering the brevity of it.
Yeah, exactly. Because I actually watched the trending video online, and there was this aged man, who was, I guess he didn't even understand what
was
happened.
going on, yes.
You understand? He was just, he stood there and was just watching everyone. And so you imagine the trauma, that must have, gone
Exactly.
through that man. And
Right.
if really he would recover that in the next distant week or months.
Right.
Really.
All right. Thank you so much, Henry. We'd love to hear from you. Follow us on all our social media platforms at Enterprise TV7 and our website at www.enterprisetvnews.com. On behalf of the entire team, I'm Chinyere Igweodu.
And I am Henry. Thank you for watching.
Bye for now.
us.
Enterprise TV, a tradition of truth.